Hello, Alan. How you doing, man? I'll follow this to Stacey.
Aye, good
Can you
mate.
hear me?
I could.
I'll
I was
send that to.
breaking up on you, but I can hear you now.
Aye, right, that's it, right. And listen, what I said before, there's nobody on just yet, so I'll sort out that thing we said, just to make
Aye,
sure there's
aye.
no, set it all for, make sure there's no dummies can jump in because it's not right. Brilliant, right away. Who can comment on this post? I don't know why more pages don't do this. I mean, I know the algorithm spikes, but it's just, it's not for me to say, is it? I suppose.
I know. I know. Well, that's right. I wouldn't want my page full of exits.
Yes. I mean, at least if you're falling out with somebody, it's a Rangers fan, if you know what I mean.
Aye.
Right. So that's us sorted. I've sent the link to Bobag Stacey. How are you with Rangers now? There we
All
go.
right. I would rather, obviously, we're sitting with more than 1 point in the league, but I do
Mm,
get we're kind of trying to build a team where there's still, I believe, better players to come in. I'm hoping anyway.
aye. Aye.
You can see that the Macania, the Koto, Penrice, so the better players are starting to go into and improving us. So you'd hope that that carries on and gets us up the league table in the next few games.
Aye. The weed in the bath. The guy's doing his weeds, brilliant man, and barbell. But right, I'll jump on to Mikey Moore. Right, he played for Tottenham yesterday. I know there's guys telling me, but Tottenham are about to sign 3 or 4 players, so he might get loaned out. It's possible, I suppose, but I think they'll probably want him to go to the Bundesliga, and you can't blame them. But I don't know, man. He didn't play too. He missed a sitter, didn't he? He was getting pelters on top sport for missing a sitter. But what I like, Alan, your bigger teams, your top end teams will see what we've done to them. Although it was Danny Rowlett, that it doesn't matter. It's still come under the Rangers umbrella. They might say, look, let's send like a first team player, a potential first team player, send them up the road to Rangers for a season. I'm all right with that.
Aye, definitely. I mean, some of these boys will end up, in the England team or, playing Champions League football if they're playing for the likes of Man United,
Mhm.
Spurs, Arsenal, and so on. So if we can help develop these players and benefit from it, then why not?
Yeah, yeah. Alison, if you can come on, send me a message on Facebook Messenger, and I'll send you the link. Just because for me to do it on WhatsApp, it's a pain in the neck to put it in a kind of layman. But and I never really once I pay a player, a manager, a coach, anyone leaves Rangers, I'm like that. Like, good luck, but I don't pay much attention. Like, I know a lot of people they'll say happy birthday to a player that left 25 years ago and all that. And that's great, gets you clicks. But I will keep an eye on Mikey Moore because just the whole story was brilliant. It's just a young lad. He's a Millwall fan. I think people think he's a Tottenham fan. I think he said he's a Millwall fan. But the irony is, Arsenal's my English team, so for me to keep an eye on him. But aye, but aye, another one, Alan. Moving on to this. We've always people want players signed today, but we've seen the last three. We've seen what's his name, the Penrice and the two Croatians. It's been going on for months. It's not easy
Aye.
to do.
Aye, and I don't know if you've seen that guy that was on Hands Across the Water with Marcus, the agent guy, and he's saying, as you say, these transfers can go on for months and months. The
Aye,
players, your guys like Bjornaby and um, Dan Purdy, and that, they'll go away and watch them 4 or 5 times before they even kind of
yeah.
make contact in this, so there's a lot that goes on in the background we don't know about. But as well, you don't want to just go out and sign somebody for the sake of it. You want to sign the
Mm,
right players as well. Because you could go out
mm,
and sign somebody just because he looks good in a couple of games and then he comes to Scotland and he just doesn't fit in
mm.
at all. Aye, so
Aye,
you can get why they take time. A lot of
aye,
money is involved as well.
aye. And the thing is, right, we always say, like, and watching Durant and that talking about it, and they're right. You want somebody to go and actually physically watch them. We've got scouts. The scouting network across football must be massive. We'll know people, or our scouts will know somebody in that country. Like, go and watch Joe Blogs. Is he any good for us? You know what I mean? But I do get the fact that Bomber and all that are talking about our Rangers, like a Durant, a Barry Ferguson, the sheepskin jacket on a Tuesday night, going and watching them. But there is ways and means of getting the guy physically watched.
Aye, definitely. I mean, I think that that Bjornaby played for Liverpool, and Liverpool are a top side. There's huge expectation there. So I would imagine some of the guys he would have played and back in the day, like Ian Rush, and all these. These guys have to have a strong mentality to play under such heavy expectations. So you would think
absolutely.
that you would think that he would know, looking at players who could handle playing for a team like Rangers.
Aye. The thing is, the guy me so I think it's tomorrow he'll do his medical. Then there's no rush for him now. So Rangers, then he'll do the scarf. The media stuff behind the scenes at the training ground and all that stuff. Well, I'm just going to send Ali the link. Here's Mad Ali coming in.
I read an article somewhere. That Gerard Piqué that played for Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
He was raving about how good this Korean boy is that we're in for.
Really? And that says, the biggest telltale, Alan, about a player coming is what the fans say. And the Girona fans are gutted he's going. It was the same with the Villa fans. The Villa fans say this is a good player you've got. And I think we've robbed, not robbed them, but here she is, here's Stacey. I think Ali's coming and also got a full squad. Let me do this. But this is just a loose chat. But what I was saying, Stacey, the biggest telltale, the biggest compliment a player that comes to you gets is the fans of the team. And the South Korean chap and the lad we got from Aston Villa, both sets of fans were raving about them. And Alan's just saying, Gerard Piqué rates this South Korean, and you can't get much better than that.
No, definitely not.
Here she is, under the stairs.
Yeah, she is.
I know.
How you doing, Ali?
Oh, well, it's Sunday.
Good. Well, just saying, Ali, the biggest compliment we can get when a player comes, it's not the stats, it's not the YouTube, it's the fans of the team they're leaving. And the lad from Villa, Costa, and the South Korean lad, their fans, when you look at socials, their fans are saying you've got a good player there and they don't want him to leave.
I was actually just listening to a rival podcast, which will not be named, and he was saying that the 10 years is at Belgrade. This Costa, apparently, all the clubs he's been to, he's an absolute superstar. An absolute superstar.
I can name other thingies that doesn't bother me, but yeah, I know what you mean. I know. But Alan, if the away fans, the fans, that's the biggest compliment you can get in football.
Definitely, because if the fans can see who goes out and gives their all when they're playing for the team, and it's the fans that make a club. So if you've not got the fans on side, then you're not going to make it at a club. So the fact that these fans are obviously disappointed these players are leaving tells you all, as you say.
I'm being a bit rude. It's just my daughter's not stayed in the house for 6 months, but she's coming tonight because our boyfriend's nights, and the mum, she stays in the annex or something like that. She's away to Bangkok, so she doesn't want to stay in the house alone. See, to be fair,
quite right.
Ali, I wouldn't want to stay in that house myself because it's on a main road, but it's on its own. And you've got to remember, all right, my kids are used to it. You get some strange noises at night in Thailand. You know what I mean?
Well, I'd be back along there. Mum, Dad, I'm coming to stay.
Aye. She doesn't finish till midnight, but I mean, she's 10 minutes away. Right, Alan, right, we'll go. Right, I've asked Alan this. Stacey, I'll ask the two of you, Stacey and Ali. Stacey, where are you sitting here right now with that cup in hand with Rangers?
I'm quite happy with everything now. Obviously, I've got some worries about the defence still. I think we still need a couple there. But we seem to be getting what we need up front. So I'm thinking, and I'm going to go on record saying it, I'm thinking we're waiting on Raskin going, and then we're going to bring Fergie in.
But that's a big shout.
I think it's going to be the last ditch. I know you said in your podcast this morning about 4 days to go, right, you're not going, but I agree, Stacey.
No, but I do. If it goes with 3 days to go, it's because somebody's coming in. No, if there's nobody coming in with 3 days to go, Ali, I just feel Rangers like that because can you imagine the outrage from us lot? You've got to remember we don't need to sell, and at the end of the day, the boy's got his contract. Don't get me wrong, I know that we're going to lose money on him, but no, at the end of the day, it's about a football player. Alan.
Aye. Sorry. I don't know if Ferguson will come in. I mean, I've heard that the Bologna manager
Uh,
is really keen on keeping him. You've heard what Derek Ferguson said about us wasting his time and things like that. I know the boy's a Rangers fan and he says he would love to play for Rangers, but I just think if he's going to go anywhere, he'll go to the Premier League or another big Italian team like Juventus or AC Milan, and maybe play the last maybe 2 or 3 years it is. But
aye.
but you never know. Street football's a funny old game, so you never know.
I know, Stacey. See, I hope you're right, Stacey, because see if he does, man, I don't care what time in the morning it is, you phone me and wake me up.
Aye, well,
Happens, all right? Wake
I'm
up, ball
just
bag.
thinking it would be typical Rangers to be like, it's all going on in the background and all these things with Derek and that are all just wee, covers, and then it's like the mind the Ryan Kent one where they tweeted, "Don't go to bed yet."
That was
It's gonna be
brilliant.
something like that.
Aye, that video, that photo, and his brother. And then somebody Googled his brother, and that was just so bizarre. I put a tweet out that night, and it was something along the lines of, and it had 100,000 retweets or something like that. Okay, sorry. As long as nobody's eating, Casper Kent is currently under the table doing a jobby on on his brother's shoes and taking a photo of it. And he just went, "It's the biggest thing I've ever viral moment I've ever had, to be honest." But Ali, that was a mad night, though. That was just brilliant.
I definitely think it's a big smoke screen. I just got a gut feeling, and a gut instinct is never wrong. Look at all the group chats that I've put in about. Costa said he was contacted about in April. Who else was contacted via? Was it Penrith said he was gutted to miss out in January, so he made sure he came here in the summer. I don't know. I just think, and look what's happened already. The first few signings, we knew nothing about it. It's like wham bam. There just could be so much peddling under the table now, going like what we don't see, what we see above board, and then what we see below is just like these mad sign. I don't know. We'll see. But I think the two we've got just now, I think they're obviously the two wingers now. I think it's all going into place now. I mean, I think your coach has been a great signing, an absolutely great signing, that boy. He's definitely shown signs, getting assists almost, and just, I think it's coming together. It's 11 new players. It's not going to gel straight away.
No. Something for me, though, personally, though, when all the other previous managers comes in, and it's so awkward saying so many, we always said they need a couple of windows. Alan, I've got to admit, I can't really remember that being said too much about Derek. There's nobody saying, "Oh, he needs 2 windows" and all that, or have I missed that?
I have heard people say that he needs a bit of time to build his squad, but a lot of people I've spoken to have said that McInnes is going to be with us for a long time. He'll be the equivalent to another Walter Smith, essentially, a guy, Rangers fan. You can see him being here for another 10 years. Obviously, if he's not successful, then you can't see that happening. But if he wins a trophy or two this season, and he puts a strong challenge into the league, if not winning it, then you could see him being here long term.
I know he does need to win a trophy, but I actually think, Stacey, that the owners are keep him, even if it's a poor season. But no, I mean, it's difficult. But the fans, it's because there's people want rid of Derek now. Can you imagine we get rid of him? Who the F is going to come to Rangers? Oh, you've sacked a guy after 5 days. A Rangers man?
No.
If that.
No, that's not going to happen. I think Dylan's made a good point there that, you can see that there's a team there. We just need a couple of wee additions, then we'll be fine. And, I was actually thinking this last night. It's got the feeling to sort of Stevie G about it, and I don't know if most fans are sort of accepting that it's maybe going to be like a wee cup this season, and maybe next season then we go again, and it might be that a kind of couple of seasons before we win the league, but I don't know. I've just got this wee feeling that it's going to go well. I don't know why, but just this wee feeling.
No, because I agree with Ali. It's starting to click. We could have done it with me clicking a couple of weeks ago, but we are where we are. Do you know what about the goalkeeper, Ali? How are you with the goalie?
To me, he's not. I mean, there's been a couple of goals that have been silly goals. You say he's not had a chance. From what I've seen of him, I'm not. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he's rubbish. He's rubbish." I don't think he's. Again, he's just brand new to the, not the role, but to the team sort of thing, and getting used to his teammates. I've not seen not enough of him. I think he's okay.
Aye.
I just think the fans are just giving a bad time already. It's just typical Rangers fans. Let's moan at something. Oh, he's the goalkeeper of the day.
I know what were you saying, Alan, the goalie?
I think he's decent enough. I mean, I like the fact that he's kind of that kind of sweeper. See the way you see Manuel Neuer doing it. He comes out and he'll go for headers and he commands his area. There's been a couple of goals that you thought, but when the one against Hibs, it was a wicked deflection. He couldn't have done anything about that. And it was the same with the one against Dundee United as well. There wasn't much he could have done with that. That took a kind of crazy a touch away from him as well. So I think he's done decent enough, and I think he will only get better, hopefully.
Yeah, what about yourself, Stacey? I mean, I know there is some people got their doubts about him, but I'm all right with him.
I think you had it on the head the other night, Frank, when you said he's not really been under the cosh properly yet. We've not came up a team where, like, a Celtic or, Hearts, where they're just pounding us constantly. So I'd like to see him, obviously, after their games and see. What I do like about him is what Alan said there, that he is commanding. I think the other night there was a ball he came for and just, like, took it out there at a corner, and I was like, my God, we've not had that for ages.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to answer. Where was that question? I'd like to know why the board thought we needed to rebuild and we needed a couple of squad players and 4 or 5 quality players. The reason is the board have got nothing to do with the players. All they do is hand the money over. It's Derek and his team that thought we needed the players, and that's why it's perfect. No, it's a good question, but the board have got nothing to do with that. They just say yes or no to the money. That's it. What about that? What, Ali? Raskin. Right, no, not Raskin. Gassama. I'd keep him. Right, and we all know if the right price comes in for any player they're going, it doesn't matter who it is. But I like the fact Raskin's. I like the fact see Gassama. I beg your pardon. See Gassama though. I like the fact he's taking shots. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are landing in. I think we're landing in my neighbour's garden this morning. But I like that because it shows confidence, and he's a young boy as well. Ali, he's got. I like what I'm seeing. That was a sitter the other day. No two ways about it. But.
But other famous footballers have missed worse. But again, it's just the Rangers fans getting on board saying you miss a sitter. I can't see. I was surprised because normally you hear the kind of talk, like we also know about Ferdinand, Gaston. I've not heard any talk about Gassama, and personally I don't see it. But this is how when he first came to Rangers, how he first started, and how we all kind of said what a great player he is. Whether it's having Derek, I don't know. Whether it's having new players around him, see last season, where it was just so poor. It could just be the fact he's got the players around him now. He's in his right position. That's what's happening. He's playing well.
Aye. What about yourself, Alan?
I think he's done okay so far. He's had decent performances, but again, he's a winger. Wingers are going to go hot and cold as well, as we've
always
said before. And I think now that he's got more competition for his place. Curtis is back. They're going to sign this Korean boy as well. So hopefully that kind of makes him kick on and say, right, I need to go out there and play my best to get in this team.
Absolutely. Aye. And the thing is, there's people say we need more wingers. The good thing about the wingers we've got, I think all of them can play both wings. Because I think most of the wingers we've got do the inverted thing. But I'm not saying they're good in the other position, but they can certainly play other positions. But for me, Stacey, it's centre half, centre mid, centre forward that I would quite like right now if I could be choosy. Wingers, I think we're all right with, but I get why people are saying it.
I just want to know what's going on with Miovski, because we've cried out for a player like him for years, and on paper the Shankland and Miovski partnership should be a no-brainer, but we don't know. What you're saying about kind of Gassama there, like, I'm a cynic, as I put it in the chat, that is he turning it on because somebody's watching him, or is it a case of just, like you say, getting that challenge this season? Because how many players have said, like old players have said in podcasts and that, they played their best when they had challengers. somebody fighting at their position. If you've got you're selling your everyday role. If you've not got MD challenging you, then you're like,
True.
whatever. You're not going to do your
Aye.
best. So,
True. True.
let's hope
Aye.
that.
What? Sorry, I'm terrible. Sorry. Ali, that's what about yourself? We gas him. I get what Ali said. Sorry, I beg your pardon, Stacey's saying about somebody watching. But for me, can we not maybe look at Derek McInnes putting the arm around the shoulder? Because I think every player, when a new manager comes in, it doesn't matter what they did before. They get a new what's it, line in the sand or whatever you know what I mean, Ali. But could it be just Derek Ferguson to that
Well,
effect?
You've seen what happened, like when I've posted the snippets, like when the new players have come in, Derek's how you doing? It gives them a big hug. It's not like kind of like a handshake form.
Yeah.
It's like a right arm in the shoulder,
Aye. Right.
and you don't know, as you say, you could have taken them in and and had a chat. Well, have had a chat with all of them, sort of thing. But I agree with what Stacey says. He'll be. Let's be honest. They listen to our podcast. They read the room. They hear how they say, "Oh, Curtis is doing better. Curtis should be on." And they're thinking, "Wait a minute." I need to get my act together here. I need to impress Alan, Stacey, and Frankie and Alan.
I know.
And John, more importantly, John.
Derek McInnes' brother's on the page. I know he looks at it. I've seen his name. I can see the names like. But what was the next one? Dan Neil, right? I think he's a slow burner, Alan, and we saw that cross the other night. That was great. And I think he's just taking a wee bit. He find his feet. I'm hopeful for him. My point being, Barron and what's his Dundee player? What's his name? Lyle Cameron. They've been told they're no surplus to requirements, and it's a shame. But the way I see it is, Rangers don't see them as a long-term fix for Rangers. They'll get no career at us, basically, the way that Rangers want to play. That doesn't mean they're a bad player. They just don't fit into Derek's plans, shall we say.
Aye. I think Dan Neil, I've liked him so far. He's been a bit hot and cold, but I think it was the one of the games I watched anyway. You actually seen him shouting at the players and trying to organise things. And when he was on the ball, I think it was one of the European games. He was one of the only players that was actually trying to thread balls through as well. So I think when it clicks, it will click for him. I think, I don't know, as you say, he's a bit of a slow burner. Cameron, I think coming from Dundee to Rangers, I think it's just been a step too far for him. I just don't think he's handled it. But I mean, because he's done brilliant at Dundee, but as you say, players have got their levels, and but you could go away and work hard at a team like Dundee or Kilmarnock again, and then maybe come back to Rangers in the future. So you never know. I think it's a shame about Barton, because I thought last season he was brilliant up until that injury. But obviously Derek sees him every day in training, so you think, well, he's obviously not quite hitting the levels that you would expect. So I don't know if they would. I don't know if I want them to necessarily sell him. I think maybe could you put him out on loan to a team in Scotland or a team down England, and then see how he gets on and then bring him back in, give him another shot. But just need to wait and see what happens.
What about yourself, Stacey? The whole Cameron, Dan Neil, Lyle Cameron, where does that sit with you?
Dan Neil, I can see it. There's been flashes, so I agree with Alan there. I think once it clicks, he'll be fine. It's just getting used to the league, I think, and how many players have come up for the championship think they're going to stroll it and realise quickly that they're not going to stroll it. So that's where I'm with him. But I'm surprised at Barron, to be honest with you, and I'm a bit gutted for him, because especially the fact that McInnes had him at Aberdeen as well, and I thought that manager link there, I thought, quite surprised at that. Whereas Lyle Cameron, like, maybe he should have went to a Hearts or a Motherwell, somebody like bigger than Dundee first, and then came to Rangers, maybe just to see. It's a shame as well, because there has been flashes with him when he's played. I've thought, there's a player there.
Definitely.
But he's not really had a chance either, let's be honest. He's no, so.
What about yourself, Ali?
Neil, definitely, I rate him. I just think, when the other night in Europe and that, I just thought the way he was, and I can see why he's been a leader in the captain fashion, I say, definitely. Again, it's only been a couple of games he's been in, and not all full games, you know, come on as a substitute, blah, blah, or else has been substituted. Cameron, I didn't see enough of him last year to really have a, kind of an opinion. My boy Barron.
I knew you were
Now,
going to say that.
this is where I think, sorry Trinity, don't get jealous. I think this is where the old pals come in, like McInnes, and I'm just being brutal honest here, McInnes is taking Devlin over Barron. That's just a personal point of view. We're all different. He's in, I think if he had his injury last year, we had a different chat about him, without a doubt. I think his injury definitely made a huge impact in his career. I just don't understand getting rid of him. No, I really don't. Again, like Alan, I think putting him out somewhere would. Look what happened to young Finlay Curtis. He had to come on. If I was Barron, I'd be chatting. McKenzie would say, "Right, boss, I want to go out to this team for a year. Then rate me on the high horse now. Then rate me next season."
She's on a rant.
Right, Alan, we'll move on to Cammy Devlin. Every man and their dog wanted him because we've needed an Ian Ferguson, Terry Hurlock. I don't want to say Hatchman, tough guy in the team. I'm all for him. And and I've looked this up, he's only been sent off, 3 times now in his career in Scotland. It was a stupid thing he did, but I'm a Cammy Devlin fan. We've needed a guy like that. We've had no bully in the team for ages.
No.
He harasses players, and he sometimes his tackles are too strong. But you need players like that as well. I would love it if he could add it to his game where he can spot the pass forward and just have a wee bit more kind of vision to play forward instead of kind of sideways and back the ways. But that's obviously how Derek's telling him to play. He'll be getting instructions as well. So, but sometimes there's opportunities you'll see where he's picked up the ball and he could have just turned and got the ball forward and we would have run the break. But that's just the one wee gripe with me for Devlin. But
fair dues, aye. What about yourself, Stace?
I like him. I agree. We've been needing that player in the midfield for ages. And
your dog's fighting, isn't they?
Oi! Fucking little fuckers. 2 seconds. Shut that door. That's the post. Must be the postman or something. I like Devlin. As I say, we've had that midfielder for ages. I get what he was trying to do the other night. It just really came across.
Aye. He didn't try to hurt the boy. He didn't try to hurt the guy. It wasn't. I'm going to slap you.
I get what he said. He was trying to win the penalty. But maybe just work on that wee bit of blood to the heat thing.
Just to have it a pop up. Man City have just signed somebody for £100 million, and they're under investigation. You know what I mean? A Moroccan player. That's just anyway. Sorry.
How did they get away with it?
I know, Ali, yourself. Not Daniel, Cammy Devlin.
Yeah,
here we go.
Gloves it all.
On you go, Ali. Go on that rant.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to say overrated. We need that bit of bite sort of thing, and I'm not going to say he's young and immature because he's learning the trade. The interesting thing I did notice was as soon as he made the kick, he looked straight to McInnes and went.
I think that's him just trying to plead innocence, so they all do that.
I know, but
I know what you mean.
As if it's okay. He's just,
wasn't he?
I do, and I know we had our differences during the week. I have my fear sometimes, I said personally, I wouldn't play him because I think players will, it happens in your life.
I know
players get along with you. Get in his ear, and I just have a fear that when it comes to Old Firm, that from the first whistle, I think Devlin's going to be a Diamondi. I think Diamondi come on like shit. He's going to get back. That's how I feel with Devlin sometimes. He's just
fair dude. But I tell you who I like. I mean, the signings that have come in the latter, Alan. See that I've got his name right down. Dragovic. Right. Let's get this. Let's learn this lad's name. Dragovic. Right. You know what I mean? I like what I see with him. He makes mistakes, but I tell you what, I like that. We've got a football player there, I think.
Aye, and he's not scared to take a shot, and that goal against Mirren was just unbelievable.
Aye.
And you can see when something doesn't work out for him, you can see he gets frustrated and he goes out and he wants to do better. And that's the kind of attitude you want to see. You don't want to see kind of like you've got the polar opposite with Fernandes, who just doesn't look as if he's interested. See, so
Oh man,
you want to fill your team with players like that. But I've liked him for what I've seen so far.
Yourself, Stace?
I've definitely liked what I've seen, and see that one where he missed. I wouldn't say it's a sitter, but he missed a great chance and he's thumping the ground. And
Aye.
you know, he does come across like really eager, but I don't want it to be that like too eager. It's like that, you know, teacher's pet puppy thing. Like, calm it down a wee bit. Just there's a line, you know. But no, everything, and the fact they can hit outside the box. Come on, we've not had a player like that since what, Mendes or.
I know, aye. But Ali, you happy with the chap?
Love him, absolutely love him. I mean,
There we go.
the Europe, obviously mid in Thursday night. Is it twice at least they hit the bar? I mean, and it wasn't just like, you know, like close range. It was like long range shots. And I think as well, obviously, with Costa coming on, you know, now I think because the two are pals, I think when they two team up, I think they'll be absolutely dangerous.
Aye. That's my next person, Alan, Costa, because those two lads, it might even have been you that said in the group chat, they played for opposite teams in Serbia, and that's vicious. They don't like each other, Serbian teams. But yeah, they would go and have a cup of tea or coffee during the week. They were friends. But as we've always said in the podcast, these guys, when you're playing at top level football, you've played at the highest level since you were a kid. So they all know each other, whether we're playing for the under-8s, under-21s. You know how it goes. But this Costa, he's very well rated. I think we've got a player there, Alan, and he's like a bullet as well.
Aye. I never actually seen him on Thursday night because I was watching my boy's football game at the same, as he was playing at the same time. So I keep needing to watch highlights, but I've heard obviously what we've heard say, you know, how well rated he was at Villa and how you're disappointed. So, you know, it's definitely one I'll need to keep an eye on the next time we're playing Thursday night.
As you were saying, Stacey, or I was saying, it's just the two Serbians together. And again, he was the one that said they've been looking at Rangers. They've been looking at it for ages.
Do you know what? The fact that, you know, they've had that bond for all these years, despite playing for rival teams, they're going to bring that to the pitch as well. They know where each other is, so they're going to know each other's game. So it can only be a good thing. And the fact that we're looking at other leagues other than the Championship now is such a... I mean, I've been saying this for years. We should be in like the Asian market and other markets. So great so far. Let's not go too mental and like Celtic did and sign them all. But
I know. But just to
far?
comment on this, the financial fair play, we've got loads of headroom. Remember, financial fair play doesn't count in the Scottish League. It's only Europe. It doesn't count in Scotland. We don't have it in Scotland, which people don't realise. But Ali, like you said it right before. You stole my thunder. The two lads, and it helps them as, again, thinking as a parent and a mum and all that. It helps them settle in a new city as well and all that. You know, the girlfriend. If they've got partners, and I'm sure they will, they'll know each other and the kids and all that, and it makes all the difference. And another thing, Ali. I was in the war in Yugoslavia and all that. I was off on HMS Glasgow, actually. And I remember one Christmas Day watching them bomb each other. Anyways, not a nice thing. But their parents grew up in war in a terrible place. And it's hard to know how that transcended onto the way they brought up their children. Because I know I've worked with Croatian guys who obviously are their opposition. And what was his name? His name was Arson, actually. He was a mechanic on a drill ship I was on out in South America somewhere. And he said the state of the parents and all that in Yugoslavia, you wouldn't understand the PTSD and all that. So you wonder how much that's the will to do well. That's what I'm trying to get at, Ali. I think, you're better at this kind of thing. There's a thing there inside them.
I mean, they'll obviously been told history by their parents. And let's be honest, how many parents want to honour how many kids want to honour their parents and do well. And I
There we
think,
go.
getting back to what you're saying about, the relationship between the two of them, what he said in his interview, Costa, was when he spoke to Dragovic, he said more or less, "Come to Rangers." And what does that tell you?
Aye.
And that
Brilliant.
he'd only here a short time as well. So I
Aye.
think as you say, the good for someone to have like a relationship, someone can talk.
Aye.
I'm not being racist at talking language, but sometimes you need to have
Yeah,
a
no, of
signed
course.
off
Aye.
and just have a chat and just get for a beer or something, or a coffee, or just in general. So no, I think honestly, and as you say, opposite sides of teams, that's rivalry. So it'll be, I think I'm really looking forward to seeing the both of them
Aye.
together.
Ali, just I'm an expat. I work abroad and all that. You're right. There's not what you weren't saying wasn't racist. It's you gravitate to other expats. It's from it starts Europe, Americans and all that. Like, when I go for my coffee in the morning, to be honest, when I go for my coffee in the morning, there's not many people there at the moment just because it's quiet here. But once high season kicks in, there's Belfast Steve, there's Andy and all that, and we all kind of. You do gravitate. There's the Geordies and all that. You gravitate, and then the Swedes will sit at that part of the bar. We'll sit at our part. It's not us and them. It's nature, Ali. But
Aye.
also, here's the other thing we integrate as well. Like, we have a banter with that bar, the coffee shop was the bar you see in the mornings. The crack I have in there with the owner and the lassies because they're all shit faced from the night before still. No, but you're right. It helps you move, especially at a young age. Like, I've been abroad all my life, so I'm used to it. But I think, Ali, you've just triggered something. Who was it we were talking about? We thought had homesickness last year. The winger, what was his name?
Asgard. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Because I'm 52. I never get homesickness. It just totally hit me one time when I was in my mid-40s for some weird reason. And it wasn't as if anything was happening bad at home in Scotland. I just thought, I need to go home for a week. And we were at a different house. I just said to the wife, I'm going home for the football. And to be fair, I think there was a big Rangers game coming up, but that wasn't the reason. But it was just weird it only lasted a week, Ali, and it was strange that it's the only time of my life. And as I say, both parents were alive, nobody was sick. It was just weird how it happens. So, because I remember somebody said when I mentioned it on one of the posts, somebody said, "Why are you homesick in your mid-40s? You've been doing this all your life." He said, "Because homesickness, Ali, again, you're great at this stuff. That's a mental health thing, isn't it?"
Mm-hmm.
So that just hit me like that out of nowhere. But anyway, we're going down a weird route. Shankland Allen, I think he's in his dip at the wrong time.
I think there was such big hype about him coming in, and he's not really hit the heights you'd expect him to. And he's had chances, they've seen the one where he's hit the post, and you could see how raging he was that he never scored. Obviously, McCausland put it in, so we got the goal anyway. But you could just see he looks frustrated, and
Aye.
it can't be nice on him as well. He'll be eager to score barrels for Rangers, being a fan especially. So I'm sure it will click, and I don't want to say anything, but how many times have you seen players get into old firms and that's when it all clicks?
Yep.
But, fingers crossed.
Aye, absolutely. It's just I think it's just like the other thing somebody said, if such and such a player comes in, give him the armband. That's the worst thing you could do to him, Stacey. Can you imagine what that would do to him? Take the armband off him. And I'm stealing somebody's thunder. Somebody said it in one of the other podcasts I watched. Maybe it's probably Ricky's. In fact, it was Ricky. It was Ricky's All About the Jazz podcast. It was probably Charlie Miller that said it, or maybe what was the guy that had on from the concerts? Stuart Hay. He said it's probably Charlie Miller that said it. It's not so much the pitch; it's off the pitch. Shankland will be good because if Shankland's not playing, do you think he's not going around that dressing room, geeing them up and all that? And again, we talked about Tab. It's the off-field stuff as well. Like the Croatian guys that have turned up. Serbian lads, do you not think he's helping them find a flat and all that? I know Rangers have got agents that do it, but there'll be things like that, Stacey. It's not necessarily 90 minutes on the pitch. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, definitely. I think Shankland's maybe his own enemy in this sense that he's maybe put a wee bit too much pressure on himself. And
possibly,
it's just settling it down and just simplifying it. As I said, the fact that, like, obviously Barry Ferguson on that podcast, I said this on another one, said, you know, he's available anytime to speak to him about the pressures of being the captain as a fan, first and foremost.
Aye.
It's a great thing. So hopefully, you know, that'll come good for him.
Aye.
Once he's sort of just
Aye.
settle down a wee bit and just simplify it a wee bit. Stop putting so much pressure on himself.
I don't agree with that at all. He's out his depth at Rangers. He played the toughest game. Do you know what's bugging me about Shanklin, Ali? Right, Shanklin last year had his best season ever as a football player. He played under immense pressure. I don't care what Derek McInnes and Ewan Cameron said that there was no pressure on Hearts. There was massive pressure on Hearts. He took it to the last minute of the football. He should have scored the winner to win in the league. And do you know what's bugging me, Ali? People say, "Oh, he's done now." I googled it or ChatGPT'd it. From him kicking a ball, the last kick of the ball with Hearts to play with Rangers was 72 days, and yet all of a sudden he's now crap. See that, man? It does my head in, man.
I know it's crazy. The only thing I was talking about the pressure thing is sometimes being a fan of your boyhood club and then playing for it, it's a huge pressure. Like the step there is just like, and maybe he's just finding that a wee bit like, I'm playing for Rangers, but as you say, mate, and let's be honest, everybody's saying, oh, he shouldn't have got he shouldn't have got the band, he shouldn't have got the band. That gets inside your head. That, things like that start getting inside his head thinking, am I good enough? And I think both him and Adiri are unfortunately under the Dessers, like, look how the Dessers missed. And he got hounded out. And I just think our fans just now are doing the 2 games unusual fans. Let's moan at Adiri, let's moan at Shankland. And now they're all saying, bring Dessers back, bring Dessers back. Oh.
No. Desser's wife wouldn't come back because she used to get abuse on Twitter and thingy. Right, Alan, and I'll go to our Alan on this one. 30 goals plus a season. Give us 50 million quid and we'll go and get that player. That's hard to find, Alan. Remember, we only need to beat Celtic in reality. That's the thing. But who was I going to? I was going to throw a player at you, Alan. Where is it? I actually ChatGPT'd the players. Makiana, the centre half. That's a football player there and a half, I think. And if he gets it right, him and Godfrey, that could be.
Aye, I think he's done well since he's come in. He just goes about his business and he wins his tackles and his distribution's quite good as well, I think. I think some of the time I've watched him, when you see Fernandez doing that kind of slow, casual, relax, and then sometimes you see McCann doing it as well, and you think, so I think if he's got somebody like Godfrey or a more experienced defender who knows how to, just a different type, somebody who's going to just go out and do the job rather than trying all this fancy stuff. I think you will see him kick on even more.
Aye. I know what yourself, Stace, the big man. I think that could be possibly the signing of the season in a roundabout way.
He's just came in. It's been a bit of silent Sam, isn't he? He's just came in and done his job, and that's what we need at the back there now. We just need to settle it down, lock it down, and then I'm looking forward to seeing Godfrey with him. Definitely see what happens there. But he's not done anything wrong, and he's solid as well, isn't he? He's
a lumpy boy, isn't he?
Lumpy boy.
Ali, what be your sell, Ali? Sorry, I'm interrupting there. Sorry. What your sell, Ali? He just looks Silent Sam. I mean, Silent Sam's I'm all for.
The proof's the pudding, and I'll put it to this way: not one person has written a bad word about me. Everyone said, "Oh, so and so word." Not one person in the press or anyone I've seen has said a word. They all said he's great, and I just think I've heard as well his post-match interviews, and he speaks very eloquently as well. I just think, he comes in and does the business.
Do you know what I'm liking? I hope just keeps doing what he's doing. As Chukwani Allen, he's another Silent Sam type. He seems to have. I'm going to give. Listen, if a player's improving, let's be serious. Let's put it on Derek. Well done, Derek, and his coaches. But I like what he's doing, and if he just keep doing that. You're all right there, son. Keep doing that.
I think Chukwani is a good player. We've seen it in patches last season. When he came in and we were playing that kind of football where we were just going to try and win the game, and then it all means possible. And then Danny Rule kind of changed it a bit, and then I thought he kind of struggled because I thought quite often Danny Rule never knew what way he was going to play. I think chop and change quite a lot, and I think McInnes is obviously he's changes here and there, but I think it's probably a more settled atmosphere, and that's going to help Chikwane to play his game. He's done well. I think he's done well the last 2 games he's played.
No, not. See. Somebody said, what's his name? Vardy. Vardy despises Rangers. So I'll leave it at that. If you go and look at his tweets back when Rangers were in administration, man, it was vile. But Stacey, Chikwane.
I like him. Obviously, last season as well, he went off the boil a wee bit, but so did most of the players. So we don't know what was actually going on behind the scenes. So new manager, let's see how he does. But one thing I will say, McInnes does seem a better man manager than what Danny did to me. Anyway, just looking at the players with him. So maybe again he is that type of player that needs that arm round him instead of the bollocking. And just
true.
Son, just keep doing what you're doing. Because he didn't really have the challenge in him last year either. So the fact that we're loaded in the midfield now is maybe a good thing too.
See, this is quite a good comment, Ali. Gary, any podcast you go on, Rangers podcast, you see Gary in there. He's great. Chikwane's a good player, a jack of all trades, master of none. That's not an insult. That's quite a good way to put him, Ali, isn't it? Just a Swiss Army. Just go and do your job. If he's a 7.5 and 8 every game, that's fine.
I'm just thinking what Stacey said. It was Chikwane before the Loch Lomond and the visit up to Loch Lomond. Can you imagine Loch Lomond? What is this? No, again, I get Chikwane from what I've seen the games he's been in. He's just done his job, and that's what you want with players. You don't want the egos and the try to do things. But again, I put it in the comment sometimes about we've got 11 players sometimes and not a team, and he just goes on and just does the job, gets on with it, and that's what you want. Just come on, I'm getting paid, I'm doing a job I love. I'm at Rangers. This is the whole thing. I'm at Rangers Football Club.
Yeah. Right, Alan, we'll move on to probably, I'm going to contradict myself, could be the best signing season. Penrice. Oh, Alan's talked to the wife or the kids. If your kids here, bring them on, Alan, it's all right.
That's all right.
Is it? Tell me, come and say hello.
Oh, it was Mrs. Claire.
All right, that's right. But okay, tell her to beat it then and get the Ireland done. That's a joke.
Right now.
I know.
She'll have you.
You're sleeping in the spare room tonight, sir. You're sleeping in the spare room.
I do anyway. She sleeps in the wind. 90% of the time, just anyway. You know what it's like when you order. But Penrice, Alan. That's James Penrice.
I think he's. Obviously, as I said, I never seen the game the other night, but against St Mirren, I was really impressed with him. He's up and down that park, and I thought he got a few assists as well, and the goal he got as well. You could see how much it means to him being there as well. Obviously, he's a fan, so and his interview at the end was brilliant as well.
That was.
I've been really happy with him, and if he plays, if he has a really good season, which I think he will, then we'll sign him and he'll be he'll be better than what we've had in recent seasons.
No. Go into history and look at what he said about us, and that I don't believe that for a second. It was interesting joining us. Stacey, Penrice. I'm just, I like to say, it was his interview after that first game. He shouldn't have been allowed near a microphone, to be honest with you, because he was so hyper. Stacey, answer me. Penrice.
I think he's a great signing. Do you know what I like about him? He's no filter. A bit like myself.
That's it. That's not a bad thing, though, Ali. Not a young boy just living his dream.
No, he's been desperate. I mean, I genuinely believe him. He says that he missed the transfer window in January, and then when he spoke to AEK Athens, he actually is so nice. He says, I have to thank AEK Athens and give me this opportunity to get to Rangers. He says, as soon as I find out in summertime. But I just think, he's got no, ego. He said, if I can help the other boys, it's not look at me. If I can help the other boys in the team, I just think, the surrounding was just unbelievable. I mean, the assists and the goal himself, I just think he's going to be absolutely, I think he'll be, woof.
And the thing for me with Penrice, he didn't have a pre-season. See if that wasn't James Penrice, the Rangers player, a Rangers fan, he would have probably been subbed about the 60th minute that first night, but he was in pure adrenaline, and Derek was, just let him go for it, man. It was great. Right, well, right, where are we? Right, here's a thing, this is, we'll finish in this topic because that's us nearly an hour. Alan, when people say Derek should pick his favourite best 11. There's no such thing, because I can guarantee, if you know on the page, I'd never put up predicted Rangers 11 for the next game, or even my all-time Rangers 11. Because I'll tell you what, even talking about it now gives me there's no such thing, because I can guarantee you, us three on here, and if I asked everyone in the comments what the strongest 11 would be, see if I asked you in 24 hours or 40 hours, I bet you there's at least one change. There's no, I'm not, listen, we know what the core is, but there's no such thing as a strongest 11.
Aye, because you need a level of rotation for obviously fitness wise, some players pick up knocks, it's just because this 11 played well against Hibs, there might be other players that you need to put into what you think will play better against Celtic, for example. So there is obviously, you do need to change things. It'd be great to play the same 11 every week and win every week, but it just doesn't happen.
I know. Stacey, what about yourself like?
That's what I was just thinking there as well when you said that, Alan, that you've got obviously your injuries that pick up and that, but they've got players that kind of play in certain pitches and all that as well, like say, still like kind of play on the AstroTurf. I mean, I know there's not many AstroTurfs in the league this year, but you've got that as well, and rotation is good.
It is, Ali, and I mean, see this guy, I'm going to ban this. Correct. Right, Ali, but the what's his name again? I don't know who he is. Ali, there's no such thing as a strongest 11. It depends on who you're playing.
I think if you win one meet, you just expect to get the same team again.
Aye.
I think it's a bit like the Danny Rowe last season. Like we're going the podcast, team. Oh, the following team. Oh, and I suppose it's maybe a bit kind of like. Not nerve, like, he's not playing the same team, but as Stacey says, I mean, like, against Celtic, there'll be players that you just can't go up against McGregor, can't go up against, Negan and things like that. So you have got to, and that's adapt to each team.
Exactly. It's a little, but the only player that you're guaranteed to pick is probably the goalie. You know what I mean? But we do know there's probably 5 that would start every game, but it's not them. Right, that's us. This has been good wee blether on a Sunday afternoon. I'll do it again during the week. Maybe I'll say that you all work. I don't work. So, right, thank you very much, Alan. Thank you very much, Ali and Stacey. I'll speak to you on the chat. Cheers.
Later.